So what do we want to do with this? We want to set the frame rate also. Like there's a couple things that we want. We probably want to set the frame rate so that it's dependent upon his speed a little bit. So we're playing the animations. Alright, so we probably need to get something like wrapper, flipbook, yeah, when we have another check here, wrapper, flipbook is null pointer, then like we'll do a warn log. The animation for %s/%s is broken. And we need to Dashkin animation set. And we need to find this method real quick. Get unique to string. Wanted set. And we're just making some debug code here to help us out. If these things are corrupted, it'll tell us what's going on. Alright, flipbook. We want to get the number of frames that are in this thing. So it's like paper flipbook.h. Let's see. So we want like a minimum frames per second. Min FPS is going to be like maybe 10 frames per second or something like that. We want like a float max FPS, and we want that to be maybe 60 or something like that. And what we want to do is we want to get kind of the percentage or something like that. Do we want to do the percentage? Because what we can do is basically like a percentage between stationary and walking speed, and then the percent difference between walking and running. And we can change the frame rate of the actual animation. So like we'll actually like get like float duration equals float FPS is frames per second. Because we want to play the animation faster if he's running faster, and we want to play the animation slower if he's running slower, and and all that. Percentage might cause half frames. Well, it's not really a big problem. Half frames, it'll just snap to the previous frame. So I mean, if the frame rate was higher than like a certain ridiculous value, then yes, you would skip frames. So if the native animation is at 60 frames per second and the minimum, just we'll see. Like, if we have enough actual frames in the animation, which Adam's animation style seems to very much lend itself to having just a ton of frames of animation, which aren't all necessary for playing it, then we have plenty of subframes to deal with. Versus, if we have a run animation with 20 frames in it, it's okay if we skip a few. It would just be if we only had like 3 run frames in our animation, then skipping a frame would just be awful. So what exactly do we need here? So we get the number of frames, get the total duration. Oh, what's the animation controller component got on it? We've got play with duration and loop. So we basically want to set the duration for the thing. So the total duration here is going to be like, this will be the default duration. So really what we're looking at is like the default duration. We should have like min duration equals kind of this default duration times like 30% or something like that. And the maximum duration should be like our default duration times, let's just say 2.0f. And what we should do is we should get our speed as relative to our next level of speed. So if we're idling, our min duration, maybe we should just always be going at 1 and maybe we can increase the speed. Kind of makes sense to me just to do that. That way, like our idle animation, so basically just like get percent to next level is kind of that sort of thing. So on like a float percent to next, and we're going to set that to 0. So the percent to next is going to be, in this case, it's going to be the velocity minus percent to next is just going to be 0.0 here. So we're not going to set it. But let's be explicit because sometimes that actually does make a difference. So basically this is going to be the dash speed minus the run speed we're going to divide our velocity, yeah, our dash speed minus our velocity divided by that. And that'll give our percentile next. Now we just do that. Just like this, and we just need to start replacing things. So this is going to be from, this will be from run to trot. Walk speed, yeah, so run should go here, trot speed should go here, and this should be walk speed. But I mean, basically, percent to next should be 0 if we're stationary, because we're not going to increase our stationary move. Okay, so let's just run through real quick. So run is going to take the dash speed minus the run speed. Trot is going to take run speed minus trot speed. Trot speed is going to take, walk speed is going to be trot minus walk. So that should make us actually advance forward. And all we have to do basically is say our float duration is going to be the default duration plus the max duration. That's going to be max minus min. And it's going to multiply it by this percent to next. And that's going to be our duration. And we're going to play duration and loop. Alright, so we just do this. We do anim ID. We are not going to interrupt, we will loop, and our duration is going to be duration. So we should see animations play slower and faster based on how close we are to the next level. I'm going to put in a little bit more debugging information. So the default duration, playing animation with a duration of the default duration, and a percent mod of percent of next. Which is why some of this might be, like, we can have all these rules and all this configuration values and all these things, but it may be easier just to call run inside of a blueprint state machine. Playing your animation with a duration of 2, with a default of 2, and a percent mod of 0. Percent mod is actually getting slower. The percent mod goes from we didn't save the level. So percent mod goes from, yeah, it's going backwards. And let's also exaggerate it by a hell of a lot. Percent to next is inverted. This goes from it starts off at 1, so it's actually 1 minus this value. That makes sense. Yeah, maybe we definitely just want like a movement control animation, an animation controlling blueprint. Percent mod is going from 0 to 1. Though it doesn't look like, yeah, we're that's, yeah. So we're adding to the duration, aren't we? Yeah, exactly. We're adding to the duration. We want to actually subtract from the duration. So min duration should be that. So we should be doing the opposite. We should be doing like 0.25, and we should be doing like 1. So like our max duration minus our min duration. Our max duration is 1. We should be subtracting so max minus min right here would be wrong. It should be min. Yeah, if we added And this is like 0.25, and this is like 1.0. If we do max minus min, that's going to be negative 0.75 times this, and that's going to make this addition negative, so we'll be going shorter. Maths! Maths is what it's about. I'm probably going to take a break in a little bit to go eat some food. I've been on stream for about 2.5 hours. But I want to get the jumping animation at least playing a little bit here. And you can see it's exaggerated. Or he starts walking really fast, and then he starts trotting really fast. really fast. And then he starts doing that, and then he starts dashing. Yeah, it looks really wacky. It's just like the really, he's a power walker, right? He's just no. So why don't we adjust his movement data a little bit? So it's very clear that his run needs to be like at 5,000. Trot should be, I mean, walk should just be 0. And we should have a special case in there for that. But whatever, let's just set it to some absurdly small. So he goes from walking to trotting nicely, trotting to running, and then running to dashing, and that like super speed thing seems like what we should actually have. So we should probably be doing something like, I'll only try 7,500 for his dash speed. And percent to next is actually just going to be, we will take, basically it's going to be velocity minus dash speed divided by dash speed. So if he was going twice as fast as dash speed, this is going to be and then let's clamp it. So just, it's wrong. It's just this, because this number is going to be what we want. And if we had, and some of the things that you can do is also you can apply a different velocity for the character based on how far they are through the animation, such as usually in a running animation or whatever, halfway through the animation their foot actually hits the ground. So if you use like a kind of a sine curve on the velocity, it'll fall in line with the footsteps. But I'm not sure we really want to do that. Because it's kind of a platformer, and it might be more important to not have variations in the move speed based on what part of the animation you're in, because it might get really obnoxious. So you're like, I thought I had that extra little bit, and it's like, oh, well, to make this jump, you got to make sure you're, halfway through your animation when you do it. And it's just like, well, that sucks. I don't want to deal with that crap. Alright, let me see if the Xbox controller allows us to do a more analog movement. Like I can do a little bit over, and it won't set me completely in that direction. No, I do not have it set for analog motion. That's okay. Oh no! Got everybody roaming in here. We're just messing around with Bitey, getting him actually moving. So let's actually up his passive velocity change to something a little bit better. Alright. Yeah, welcome everybody. We're working on getting Bitey running and that sort of thing. Right now that's as far as we've gotten with actually using his animation. As you can see, his air stuff isn't working, but we're starting. So that's kind of the last so and so many minutes of us doing stuff. So that's what we're doing at the moment. Thank you, Karakan, for hosting. Look at that absolutely ridiculous jump. So we should probably actually start on getting him to, jump. His legs seem too skinny. Thank you for following Bad Psychic. We always love more followers. Thank you for being one. Yeah, finished. We're done. His legs seem too skinny in the slowest state. That'd be something to tell Adam. So let me think. Now jumping's a little bit more complicated. Right now with our animation, we basically are just taking the speed. Like if we're moving along the ground, we're figuring out which animation we should be playing, and then how fast that animation should be playing. But for our jump, we're actually going to want to check a few things. Like we want to play our jump as soon as we leave, as soon as we actually jump. But if we're in the air, all right, so only just do in the air first. So what we're going to want is, I think we got our M current velocity, and our Z is going to be our, so that's going to be up velocity. This is going to be our current velocity dot Z, and so if we'll get our horizontal velocity, and that's going to be our current velocity. Yeah, we're not finished with the game yet. We're working on just getting stuff moving around. So let's do our vertical velocity and horizontal velocity. And our horizontal velocity should determine, well, actually we should get our total magnitude, right? So we should get total mag should be just the size of the vector for our current velocity. And with that, we're going to be able to kind of set our velocity should be equal to this, which is our absolute value for it. And our wanted type is going to be different based on our vertical velocity. So if we need to see kind of a hang. If he's jumping up, right, he needs to, if he's going up, we need rise. If he's stationary in the air, we need hang, and if he's not, we need fall. So we basically want to say, like, if our vertical velocity is the absolute value of the vertical velocity is less than kind of our, why don't we just throw some floats at the top of the function real quick. So like our float, hey, it should be like hang vel, and we just put it something small like 100. So if that's the case, else if like our vertical velocity is greater than 0, otherwise this. So if we're hanging, then we need to set this animation type to AT air neutral. So that'll be our wanted type. Otherwise, we're going to do air fall and air rise. So our vertical velocity is positive, so this should be air rising, and this one should be air falling. So that should set that properly. And then we basically just play this crap right here. We'll just copy pasta the hell out of that, and we should now be playing our animations for, not for jumping, but for being in the air at least. So we can't jump, but we should at least look like we're jumping. Like we should look closer to what we should look like. So we'll take a look at it. So if we're in the air, you can see we look like that. These animations. He's gonna get you. that that air falling, the air rising animation is just hilarious. Oh man. So yeah, we're just gonna add sound effects and we'll be done. Yeah, and we can see we got the other states there, where he's got a few intermediate ones. It's just like the running, the really fast animations just looks really messed up. So yeah, this is the run rising right here, and you can see it looks really screwed up because there's only 2 frames of it, and there's just not much to it. So it's looking like it should, you know, totally messed up, which is perfect. And I would like to add this as like a super dash. So why don't we just go ahead and do that? So this is the dash. There's 2 animations in the array. So why don't we do that? So where is this thing? It is get animation for type and set. Oh, we already have this like get animation for type and set thing. Thank you for following Twitch Warfy. Glad you're interested. I'm working on the programming side of Dashkin, so my streams are probably not nearly as entertaining because I'm usually just like scratching my head and banging my head against the wall trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing. Alright, so we want this to basically say, you're now hosting me for up to 107 viewers. Jesus Christ. You're sending all the people over. Oh no, lies. No, it is definitely true that the programming portion is a hell of a lot more boring. Because I'm usually just like, well, what's 1 minus 2? I don't know. I failed math class. And stuff like that. So what we want to do is we want to have like a boolean here, and we're just gonna like get last. How about just get first? And we want to change get for type and set to actually take this like get first. I'm gonna set it to false. God, I can't type. Alright, so n32 index equals 0. If not get first, then we are going to get the last. So the index is going to be anims.num -1, and then we just return anims of index. And then we are going to look at our get best animation for this guy, and we're going to call get for animate set, and we're going to do get first, and set a bool here, and we're going to set it to false. And if percent to next is greater than like 0.25, then get first equals false. So now we should super dash if we're actually pretty far. Latest is submitted. You can pick through my level at your convenience. Awesome. well, let's just go snag that then. And I will see what you've got. Awesome. And we gotta compile all the things. So that's what we do here. We watch progress bars. At least that's what I do. It's a theme. Do you know which sprite was refusing to save? Because you can usually tell if I have it open. If you go over to Perforce and it mouse over the file, it'll say like locked by Kirk Sexton, and then you'll be done. And then we'll be good to go. Shrub A, yeah, maybe I had that. Anyway, are there any pieces of feedback you got that I should write down at the moment on things I should be looking at to fix? So let's see if we got the super dash actually in there. No. Yeah, there's the super dash, but we're not going through the regular. It's almost like you should be playing that super dash in the air as well for some of those. So this is going to be the velocity minus the dash speed divided by the movement speed. So it's always... Why is it always returning true? So we know it's greater than this, so, but it should be divided by the actual speed. So this should be 0 and all that stuff. Maybe we just need to set this higher. Get first is false. Maybe I just screwed up the logic for this thing. If get first is true, then num minus 1, otherwise that. Alright, well, we'll just see how it goes. Thank you for following. We always like more followers, because then we can level up our Twitch channel and get super amazing things. Like, I'm a Twitch affiliate now, which is pretty cool. I guess it's cool. Maybe it's just sad. But it works. Maybe one day we can get emotes. Yeah, it's just immediately go into it. Alright, so why is that? Why are we doing that? I just need to stick a breakpoint here. Let's see, here it is. So %next is get first is true. We skipped over what we wanted. Oh, well, that's because we're not even passing it in there. Are we? If wrapper equals no pointer, then we do that. But it should be defaulting to false. So why is it defaulting to true? Well, let's just ignore logic and just be explicit. Just do that. We don't have to think, we can just do. No specific questions or feedback. Just a couple of things to listen and talk. Yeah, I wrote down a few things. Like terrain placement and all that sort of stuff. We'll be figuring all that out. I mean, we already knew we were gonna have to figure that out. We had that written down. Like, building the level out with chunks of terrain is gonna be something we have to just learn how to do properly, and what tools we need to actually make. Like, are we gonna be making template things and then slotting them into the level, and then how do we snap them to each other? Like, there were a couple things there. Yeah, work in progress. And then you look at, like, nope, totally final art right here. This is what we want. Everything needs to have, you know, Super Saiyan Bitey on it. You know, I don't see what's wrong with any of these animations. This is the best animation ever. I mean, Bitey's got something going on here, but you know, it'll be an R-rated game, so we're good to go. We're finished. All right, so we're running. We are getting first is true. Run. So we're going super quick, and yeah, that's what we're supposed to have. And Bitey can't actually go at the super speed. We just want him to. His speed is, yeah, we'll check it real quick, but I think this will be enough that we trigger the super dash only when he's going as fast as he possibly can. That's this electrocution state. We're gonna be electrocuting Bitey in this game. I mean, is Bitey gonna catch on fire and then you're gonna have to like run him into the water? He's just like, ah. I mean, I already know we're gonna cover Bitey in bees, but I mean, are we gonna cover him in fire as well? And then maybe we're gonna cover him in fire and bees? You really hate Bitey, don't you? Yeah, so, you know, something. He's going real quick into the super dash, but it's there. So you kind of platform around with him. So I go take a look at Adam's level. Of course, I have absolutely no which one. I'm guessing it's Camera Test Adam. Or Camera Test Adam 2. This is just classic. This is just classic artist naming conventions right here. You know, you never know. There's going to be like Camera Test 1, 2, 15, you know, Mess 25. This is just what happens. I remember working with one artist in college who didn't use version control, and when she gave us the asset files for this stuff, there was literally like 40 files of the same thing in a folder. So she should be able to throw everything else. There's like 40 files of the same thing in the folder, and they all had the same model. And it was like, well, which one is it? And she's like, I don't know. I don't know anymore. So that's how it goes. So really, we're just gonna open these up and see what they look like, because that's usually the only way to figure it out. Well, this is looking pretty nice. So I'm guessing this is our player over here. Cool. Well, we're actually gonna swap this out with Bitey. So we got Bitey running around. Meow. Oh no, he's stuck in a log. Crap. Need to get him out. Spidey's just too quick. Oh, you can collide with all the bushes. Spidey's just gonna hide here for a while. That's pretty funny. Like, he's running so fast along the ground that he just like starts freaking out. And the log is totally. We'll need to work on all the things. Anyway, the shrub that wouldn't save. Well, let me take a look at that. You got all the Z fighting and all these things. Let's see, this shrub is... So you're actually using these sprite sheets for stuff. We should probably be making them into blueprint objects regardless, just so we're not doing too much. But this guy wouldn't save. Yeah, it was probably... It totally saved here, so what probably happened was sometimes Unreal gets a little bit weird with version control. And if you just reopen Unreal, sometimes it'll fix itself. Well, let's see. No collision. So I'll check that out. I'll check it in just a second. Yeah, it's just little workflow stuff. Now we can hide in the bushes. Oh no, Bitey can't stop on those slopes because we haven't tuned anything. Let's see him just poking his head out. I made it so there's not enough air control, so there's no way I can do wall jumps anymore. And give Bitey a bath. Alright, well, I think I'm going to need to take a break here and get some food because I'm starting to starve to death. And it looks like we've also made some pretty decent progress getting some basic stuff going on, so it's pretty cool. An 80 centimeter fat sack. Well, the reason fat sack is 80 centimeters is because that's how tall he is in Harmony. So, if you and you need to redo like fat sack stuff as well in Harmony, right? Like half of his stuff's all clipped off and all that. So I'd say it's probably just fat sack needs another pass because he's all clipped off and all that fun times. So he's probably fine for now, and we'll just do another pass on him. Fat sack's the first critter, so if he's anywhere near decent, that's actually pretty awesome. I can't deal with the cuteness, yeah. Fat sack's a pretty awesome character. He's we got the Sonic roll going on. If you hold the B button, you can dig his fat sack. Actually, why don't we just do that real quick? I should be able to go into Bitey Player here and just swap him out with Fatsec Biped and play. And we can roll as Fatsec. I don't know if you guys can see that super well. I'm gonna zoom the camera in for this. That's too good. It's gonna be just a minute here and I'll change the camera. That should actually be something I do today. I'm gonna write that down. Expose the camera zoom values to data. Fatsec Sonic Roll, gotta go fast. Becomes gotta go fat. Yeah, that's totally true. And Fatsec's movement data allows him to move a lot quicker than Bitey at the moment, since I was just exaggerating all of Bitey's different state changes. Yeah, that's going to be one of the things, is we can actually do that. We'll see him just roll down a hill. Actually, I could probably do that right now. If I threw the AI Fatsacs in there, I think they would actually roll down hills. So we're going to switch to Adam's level, and I think we'll throw in a couple Fatsac dudes, and we'll see what they do. We got these Fatsac crappy AIs. We should be able to just throw these things in here. Can't make these? This is Fatsac movement. Alright, so we need a Fatsac proxy that uses the crappy AI, which is this guy. We just need to put them at like zeros. We don't have an editor kind of thing for them, but they're there, trust me. You can see them. You just imagine the Fatsacs are there on the screen. See? There he is. Totally stuck inside of each other, aren't we?